Welcome to All the Gear But No Idea, the South Australian fishing podcast hosted by Rhodey and Diz. The boys will share their tall tales of the one that got away, as well as some regular segments they know all you fishing tragics will enjoy.
G'day guys and welcome to All the Gear But No Idea, the South Australian fishing podcast. Rhodey, it is good to be here.
Diz, as I crack my can, this is a huge episode. Diz, tell us about the guest. This is what we've all been waiting for.
Absolute monster. This man needs no introduction. Certainly won't later in today's episode. We have Paul Worsteling. We've cracked the code.
Diz, look, if we're jealous about one thing, it's this man's life.
Oh, absolutely. You will be hearing us later. You'll almost actually hear Rhodey drooling into the camera when we hear Paul talk about his recent fishing trips and all of his fishing trips in his life. He is, look, I think we sort of annoyed him enough that he said yes.
He was pretty generous with his time.
I'll tell you what, we've annoyed some others more who are ready to crack. But Paul was, and we don't want to give too much away like a minute or two into the podcast, Rhodey, but you're right. He was incredibly generous with his time, and we look forward to having a chat with him later today. But before we do that, Rhodey, of course, we need to get through our regular segments, which I'm sure the listeners are interested in hearing. Rhodey, let's get into oranges and lemons, mate. What has been your orange? We'll start with the positives.
Well, I've got away 2 weekends in a row, Diz. It's been great. Went away to Port Hughes last weekend for the long weekend with you guys, your family, and Bill came over for a beer and had a little weekend away. You'll touch on the fishing in a minute.
Yes.
And then we got down to McLaren Vale for the weekend, this weekend, for both our birthdays, Lucy and I.
Happy days, mate. You're the travelling soldiers, you guys. I'm
still waiting for your birthday present all right on my doorstep, to be honest.
Yeah, I got bad news for you, mate. It's a bag of burley nuts. Right, I'll go into my orange here. Port Hughes fishing, Rhodey. You mentioned it. We had a great weekend away in Port Hughes. We were really keen to check out another part of the state that we haven't spent a lot of time in, and we got out there fishing for a couple of days. We didn't have a huge amount of success on the first day. It was more of a bit of a scouting mission, sorting out where we thought the fish might be biting, and we'll talk about it again a bit more in the report, but we managed to get onto them the second day. Got a really nice feed.
And it's always good to sort of crack into some fish in a new location, isn't it? Scout them out and find them.
Yeah, we put a bit of heat on ourselves the second day because when we were at the local cafe getting coffee on that Sunday morning, when some people who had never fished before said they got their bag limit the day before, we were a bit worried we might have been missing out. So it was good to get onto them.
It certainly was, Diz. What about your lemon? Let's get negative.
Yeah, well, look, if I'm going to get negative, Port had a good win, which is not the negative part. The negative part was that I couldn't go. So Thursday night footy is back, and I love Thursday night footy.
Makes the week go quicker, doesn't it?
It does make the week go quicker. You've got something to look forward to on a Thursday night, and of course it was in Adelaide against the Cats, reigning premiers from last year. So it was always touted to be a good contest. Port are up and about. They're flying. And I had to sit there and just keep up to date with the scores on my phone, watched a little bit of it on KO, but missed most of it live, watched the replay later. Great to get the win, but very disappointed to miss out on the game.
And can we go another negative just on that, Diz, our boy Tommy Jonas. Get him in the side.
Oh, I know. Far out. That shows our depth, though.
Does. And we're hoping to get another big Port guest in the next couple of weeks, Diz.
Yes, we are. We won't give too much away there, but been in the pipelines there, Rhodey. Tell us about your lemon.
I get a little bit nervous when there's a bit of a lull down in the barrel fishing down at Port MacDonald that we've let another year go. But hopefully it is just a lull. The weather hasn't been great, but they have been a little bit quieter, Diz. We will touch on that in the fishing report, though.
Yes, we will. Good point. All right, Rhodey, let's give the listeners a bit of a merch update. We have had some serious entries into the comp, Rhodey. In fact, I think we blew up Facebook there for one point.
Oh, Diz, we've had
started getting hacked.
Interest. Oh, yeah, we do actually apologise.
Shout out to everybody who got the link. We do apologise for any inconvenience. We really sincerely hope you didn't click on that link. Of course, you'll hear it from us if you have won, and our prizes will be announced at the end of the month that we're running the comp in. But this is the winter comp, and this is an epic prize from Shimano. They're fantastic gear. always lives up to their reputation of being really reliable, trustworthy, hard, can deal with the harsh Australian elements, Rhodey.
Diz, they come with a great warranty as well, 10-year warranty on the Shimano gear.
Yeah, we love that.
And so it's a Sedona 2500 reel, the Raider 722 rod, plus backpack, cap, and a beanie from us. So
I was going to say, beanie to keep you warm.
It's a great prize, Diz.
It is a great prize. Rhodey, how many entries we had? You got that on the top of your head there?
Mate, my spreadsheet's blown up. We've had that
It'd be up there in the hundreds.
Oh, we've had heaps. So, but keep them coming. It is a winter whiting competition, so send through your photos to get in the draw.
Send them, guys. Great. Rhodey, let's get into the news.
Rhodey and Diz have been searching far and wide to bring you the latest news across all fishing in the state, and will give you the rundown on what you need to know.
Rhodey, we wanted to start with a very important news topic this week, because we've been distressed by the proposal that has been announced to have the wind farm offshore out past Port Mac, and the destruction that could cause for not only the locals down there, but more importantly, all of the wildlife and everything that's going to be affected from that proposal. So we are distressed. RecFish have sent out an email with a survey. They've been proactive in wanting to have a briefing from the company who's put forward the proposal. So read that email if you're a RecFish member. If you're not a RecFish member, you should question yourself and jump on board. Rhodey, you got any more to add? There's obviously more details.
It's also on the Facebook page as well, so jump on, have a look, complete the survey. But, whether you like RecFish or not, they are the peak body now for the rec fishing in the state, so it's about time we all got behind them, and this is the sort of thing that they need to represent us on.
Yep.
And they're doing a great job and, getting opinions and starting to get our voice heard on this sort of thing.
Yeah, you're exactly right. And we want that peak body being informed by the people who are doing the rec fish across the state, and they want that too. So get around it, get onto their survey, and we need some action on this local issue, because it could be an enormous effect and have a significant amount of unintended consequences, Rhodey.
Diz, that's exactly right. Let's move on to our next one.
Yeah, what else we got, mates? We got some sort of spotting down in the southeast.
Diz, I don't know if you've followed this one, but it's a rare species that has been spotted in the southeast of the state, the Limestone Coast, and it's a lamprey. I believe I'm pronouncing that right.
Right, everyone through what a lamprey is.
It's called the pouched lamprey. It's native in parts of Australia, but it was a rare sight in Ewan's Ponds, located 25 kilometres south of Mount Gambier. It's long and thin like an eel. They're born in freshwater before migrating to the oceans to live out their adult life by latching onto other fish and sucking their blood.
Oh, so it sounds a bit like a leech.
It does a bit, Diz, and they then return
like a waterborne leech.
And they return to freshwater to breed and then die. What a life.
Far out. That's hectic. So are we concerned about this spotting?
Don't know. I wouldn't want to run into one, but I think it's good for the ecosystem.
Well, that's positive.
But they got a fair mouth on them if you see this photo on the ABC website.
All right. Fantastic. Nice one,
And they saw one swimming and were able to get a picture to confirm it.
Well, that's a good thing.
But, yeah, so they grow to about 50 centimetres long. Miss Harding, who is a representative of the National Parks Limestone Coast Conservation Ecologist, she said it's good. It's a good sign for the local waterways. If you Google them, they're funny looking things.
Yeah, okay.
But it does say here they're no risk to swimmers, which I'm questioning that looking at their teeth and mouths.
Well, who are we going to trust? You, the random person who's a bit worried about by a few teeth, or the people who say don't be worried about it?
Yeah, probably not me.
Come on, mate. You're better than that. Righto, Rhodey. We've had a budget announcement by the state government recently. There's been jetty repairs announced in there to the tune of $20 million. And on that post, I've seen an enormous array of people putting up suggestions of the jetties that need the most amount of work. I'd say it would be fair to say that Tumby Bay got a good run. Tumby Bay's jetty seems to be in disarray.
Yep.
We haven't spent a lot of time in Tumby Bay ourselves, so we can't comment. But great friend of the show, Simon Green, did comment on there saying that Tumby Bay needed some work, and we're going to trust the great man. He's a very well-informed fishing person across our state. So I actually don't know that. They have announced the details of the jetties that will be getting the priority funding. I'm not sure
so it's $20 million over 4 years. I don't know whether they have actually announced.
Yeah, I'm not sure whether they have either. All I can tell you is our friend Fraser, local member of Narunga, the York Peninsula, is not happy that there hasn't been more spending in the budget for that particular region. And Fraser's been recently photographed on the Edithburgh jetty, suggesting there needs to be some work done there. So I don't think there's going to be a shortage of jetties that will be putting their hands up, so to speak, for some funding, Rody.
And I'm reading, you did mention Tumby Bay, but the mayor there, Jeff Churchett, has said that that's not enough. And he was anticipating direct funding to help fix the Port Neal jetty, which is currently closed.
Yeah, well, I think there's going to be some people that will suggest that even that funding might not even cover off fixing one of theirs. I
think that was a comment. Maybe SA Angler or one of those sort of fairly reputable sources said that 20 million wouldn't cover Tumby Bay.
Yeah. No, very good. More to come in that space, and we'll keep following, and as some more details get announced. Rody, Port Lincoln Jetty, there's been some works.
Yeah, major works to the town jetty commenced on Tuesday the 6th of June and will continue until the end of October 2023, and that will renew the jetty structure, reinstate deck load capacity, and minimise ongoing maintenance. So the jetty and swimming enclosure will be closed to the public during this time. The car park will be partially closed, and a temporary entrance has been made to allow access to the eastern side of the car park.
Okay, there you go. We like that.
That's a wrap.
Good stuff. All right, another little news topic coming out for you. Fisheries compliance officers' jobs are going at the moment. I've seen that. RecFish SA did a post about it recently. So certainly anybody who's thinking about that as a career option or going to throw their hat in the ring, jump on that Facebook post, or of course jump on the PIRSA website. I believe it'll be advertised through if you want to apply for that job. But the more fisheries compliance officers we can have, the better, in my view, because I think we need people out there making sure that all of our rec fishing community are doing the right thing when it comes to bag limits and so on and so forth. Ready?
Yep, Diz, exactly right. They're doing great work, but the more they can get, more officers they can get, the hopefully better it all goes.
Good stuff, Rody. What else we got in the news segment this week?
Diz, I'm going to jump into something that's a bit out there. This wasn't our normal sort of news item.
Yep.
This is over in the Wednesday's Europa League final, Diz, and it's the Sassuolo pitch. It's a soccer stadium. I think it's in Italy.
It's interesting. I thought this was a South Australian podcast.
Anyway, but it's a pretty cool story. So it's famously, this pitch has a moat between the visiting supporters and the ground to stop pitch invasions.
Right.
That moat is, the water comes from a local river, Diz.
Okay.
What lives in rivers? Fish.
Right.
What gets its way into the moat? Fish. So it's a bit of a thing that
you're so clever.
the away fans try and catch the fish.
Okay.
And a Fiorentina fan has hooked one in the recent game and gone nuts celebrating. He loved it. So he's there watching his soccer team play in Italy, and he's caught what looks to be, I'm going to call it a 20-centimetre carp, so we're not going to jump for joy over the species, but he's got no shirt on.
Is it bigger than the carp that I had to hold up in the SA Angler article?
Yeah, we do actually need to touch on that, Diz. It's about that size, but geez, he got the fans around him.
Love that.
So Google that, guys.
Okay, get around it.
Fishing moat, soccer,
Love
Italy.
That. Speaking of just sort of a little bit of a shout out to our good friend, Robbo. Robbo is stocking a dam for the pure purposes of being able to go down and flick a line. And we love that from him, don't we?
I didn't know he was a real diehard fisherman.
Yeah, he's into it, mate. He's into it. He wants some trout in there, bit of weekend fun, going down there fly fishing for him.
Has he figured out what species and all that?
Yeah, we've pointed him in the right direction. He's got his sources, so he's gonna get stocking. Anyway, I think that just about wraps up all of our news, Rody.
Now it's time for Rhodey and Diz to really show you what it means to have all the gear with a lot of idea as they review a tackle item of the week.
Diz, we really vary up this tackle item. Sometimes it's some beautiful reel from Shimano. Sometimes you've talked about putting a sponge in a burley bucket and some dodgy sort of little home jobs. This is one of those dodgy home jobs.
Okay, go on then. We do like covering off a broad array of gear and tips and tricks and things that you can do to make your life a bit easier, or maybe you want your gear to last a bit longer and you might need some maintenance tips. What do we got for the listeners this week, Rhodey?
And this is a cheap one, Diz. I nipped into my local Bunnings, spent about $2 on a pool noodle. And what did I do with it? I cut about 20 centimetres of that noodle off, and we've now slipped it over the antenna for our radio, Diz.
Love it.
And when we strap the aerial to the bimini when we're in transit, what does it do? It protects the aerial.
Love it.
And we used to have
Stops
some
it from
old
rubbing.
bit of foam and it was flimsy and no good. Pool noodles are pretty thick.
Yeah.
You're not doing much damage with a pool noodle wrapped around
They're
it.
generally pretty hardy. They can sort of last the test of time if you throw on like 5,000 scoops of chlorine in your pool. So they can genuinely sort of withstand a bit of pressure.
So I thought that was a absolute brainwave.
Yeah, you're pretty proud of yourself.
We took it over to Port Hughes and I was waiting for a bit of positive feedback and it never came.
You were
So that's why
wrapped
I
with
put it into the podcast.
Okay, all right. Well, all you listeners out there who most probably don't need to protect your aerial, but if you do, then get around us. Let us know what you think about Rhodey's pool noodle concept idea.
All right, Diz, that's enough on pool noodles. Should we get on to what we're all here to listen to?
I was going to say, we're coming off a pretty low base, but I can assure you if you had to listen through that, then you're going to enjoy this next segment, Rhodey. We've got our guest coming on. Let's get him on the line.
Now it's time to get our guest on the line. We'll ask them the all-important 5 questions, then chat all things fishing in SA.
All right, Diz, we are very privileged to be joined here tonight by Mr. IFISH himself, Paul Worsteling. Welcome to the show, Paul.
Thank you very much, team. Looking forward to talking all things podcast and fishing with you lads.
Thank you, Paul. Well, we had, of course, Red Habgood on the show not long ago, and I really pumped up his tyres, but you're certainly the best guest that we've had on ever, and certainly you don't need any introduction. It's fantastic to have you on the show today, and we do like to start with all of our guests the 5 questions. So, Paul, we know this is going to be a good one. Tell us about your best fish.
Best fish. That's like asking somebody who's got more than one child who the favourite kid is. I don't think I can have a best fish because if I start thinking about it, I go, oh, no, that one, oh, no, that one, or that. So I think on any given day, like I've just been sitting on the couch with my lad and we've been poring over charts of Tasmania trying to find little lumps where we might find the biggest striped trumper in the world one day. So that's the sort of sad life I have. So I think it all depends on what you're into at that time. You know, as a fisherman, you have changing trends and things you want to do. So I think it changes regularly, but as of today, my favourite fish, look, it's hard. I've caught a 1,000-pound black marlin, and that was pretty special. I've caught a 600-pound bluefin tuna. That was incredibly special. One fish that just blew me away, though, and it's a bit of a fun story, so it can be my favourite fish for today. I got a barramundi in the Kimberley, and it was 1.25 metre, and I literally caught it. I was cleaning a barramundi, about to go home. We'd spent 12 hours on the water, and I wanted a nice little barra for dinner because I love eating them, and there was 2 or 3 dead, decaying mullet in its stomach. And I pulled one out. I stuck a 6.0 suicide hook through its gob and chucked it out the back whilst I was finishing cleaning this fish, just thinking we never know. And the old 4,500 bait runner started losing line, and I hooked this thing and it came out of the water, and I just went, holy crap, it was big. And when this thing finally broke, when you're looking down and you know it's a good fish, but you haven't actually seen it properly yet, and I'm looking down and it's getting close, and it finally sort of breaks my vision. And the only way I can explain this so that you can understand what I was thinking, your mate says, hey, I just got a new Labrador. It's 12 months old. I'm going to bring it around. I'm going to show you. There's a knock on the door, and you open the door, and you know what a Labrador looks like. You know how big it is, and the Labrador is as tall as your mate. It's 6 foot tall, 3 foot wide. It was like, oh my God! And the hook was just in his lip, and we took our time. We landed that fish, metre-25 barra, absolute pig. Let it go, and I was fishing with an Indigenous community at the time, and it just meant so much to that community that. And my boy was there, my wife was there, and I just remember getting back and we're on this massive high for days and days. So that was a very, very special fish I'll never forget.
Beautiful, Paul. That sounds like a ripping day. Now, we're going to keep moving. Can you tell us your favourite thing about fishing?
Yeah, I reckon I always say it's about people, it's about places, and it's about just an experience that whether you have $1 in your pocket or you're a billionaire, you all get exactly the same high from fishing. And even talking about it now, I can feel the adrenaline starting to go. Like, you can go out in your 4 metre tinny off KI and you can catch that 1 kilo King George whiting or a 20 kilo bluefin or a 65 centimetre bite redfish or a 30 kilo sambo comes along, and you will be on a high that nothing equals on this planet.
Yeah.
And you don't need to have $1 billion. I liken it to, everyone can afford a Tats Lotto ticket. Let's say it's 10 or 20 bucks. I haven't bought one for 100 years, so I wouldn't know. Everyone can afford to buy one, right, if you save up. And when you buy it, you always think, I'm not going to win the money. Like, no, as if I'm going to win. But there's always 1% that goes, what if I did?
Yeah.
What if I did win? Because you wouldn't buy the ticket if you didn't think you could. No. And you wouldn't go fishing if you didn't think there was a chance you're going to catch that fish of a lifetime. So that's what I love about it. You go out just so full of anticipation and joy. Quite often you come home like you've been kicked in the nuts, and you think, and it's like, I'm never going fishing again. And then the next morning you go, when am I going fishing again? It's just, I actually said recently, I was filming an episode, I feel sorry for people who don't fish because they don't understand one of the greatest joys in life. And 2 of the episodes, I was washing my caravan, so I have a spare time on my hands. I was thinking, 2 of my episodes I've filmed this year have ended with me hugging a man and both of us in tears. And that to me is a beautiful thing, that 2 grown men can hug each other and cry because they're just so passionate about the sport of fishing and not just the fish, but we were crying for not about fish. We were crying about how fish have affected those people's lives and how they brought us together and all these beautiful things. So that's why I love fishing, because it ain't about catching a fish. It's way bigger than that.
Yeah, fantastic, mate. Thank you for some insights there. That's epic. Tell us about your first fishing memory or how you got into it. Bit of a backstory to yourself.
Yeah, it's a weird one. So I'm the youngest of 5 kids and no one in our family fishes. But I grew up on a farm and we had lots of cattle and animals and stuff, and I was young and out playing all day and doing different stuff. So I was just fascinated by animals, birds first of all, just climbing trees, looking at eggs and chicks and all that sort of cool stuff and seeing birds. And this is going to make me sound really boring, but if I went away for 2 or 3 days, I'd count how many parrots of this species, and because I could actually see it, I could feel it, I could enjoy it. And we were, even though it's we were pretty poor, so we had nothing. So if you saw 2 colourful rosellas, that was pretty special because you weren't going to have one yourself. So I just always loved being outside in nature, whatever. And then literally someone took me fishing one day in the dam, caught nothing. And then I went fishing again as a little kid. Someone took me and we caught some mullet when I was like 5. And it literally was, what is underneath that water? What is the great mystery? I can see a parrot fly by, but I never know what's under that water unless I catch it and pull it out. I can touch it, I can poke it, I can eat it, I can take a photo of it. And it was always that great unknown. And just, I wanted to drain the ocean and just walk around picking things up off the bottom to see what there was. And that, I think, was the thing that got me really excited about wanting to go fishing. And I remember my first fish. The first fish I can remember catching was a flathead in Port Phillip Bay when I was like 12. And it was like probably 25 centimetres long. It was tiny. But I just spent so much time cleaning the thing that there was nothing but skin and bone left because I cut it to pieces.
That sounds like us.
Yeah. To this, I feel it the same. They call me the butcher today. I still feel it the same. But so it was all about that joy of being able to take something from the water and actually see, almost like a mythical creature like Loch Ness Monster or something, and actually be able to see it, feel it, touch it, enjoy it. And then to get to a point later in life where you're able to do that and you're able to keep 1, 2, 5 for the table, but literally let tens of thousands of fish go to keep doing what they're doing, but just to have that joy, it's just amazing.
Yeah, beautiful, Paul. It's amazing how we all start off with humble beginnings and then go on to a 1,000-pound black marlin, isn't it?
Well, that's the silly thing about life. We always want more. But it's nice because all the things, this is weird, but all the things that I really felt was so important during my fishing career, like I want to catch a marlin, like I've got to catch a snapper, I've got to catch a 20-pound snapper, I've got to catch a snapper on fly. All those things that at the time I thought was so bloody important and probably stressed myself out trying to do it. When you did it, it was like, yeah, okay, done that now. Now what?
Yeah.
So you've got to make sure you just enjoy the moment and don't try and do anything to tick off an imaginary list to make yourself feel better or to think you're more accomplished. Just go and enjoy fishing and do the things you like doing, because at the end of the day, it doesn't really matter if you've caught a 20-pound snapper or a 1 kilo whiting or a whatever, because really, if you didn't have fun doing it, who cares? And if you did have fun, it's great.
Yeah, exactly right, Paul. Now, this is another one that you probably could give us 100 answers, but just quickly, can you cut down your favourite sort of fishing to one?
No. Now, look, the simple answer there is there are very few forms of fishing that I don't enjoy. I can't think of one that I don't really enjoy. So I'm very fortunate that I get to do a ridiculous amount of different styles, places, countries, people, techniques, species. So for me, it's all about what I am doing in that moment is my favourite thing at that time. So I literally, if I was going fishing tomorrow, if my plan was to go and catch yellow eye mullet off the local jetty or in the drain behind the shops at home, then that is dead set my favourite for the day, because I am so committed and I've made the commitment to go and do it. So I just I'll put the energy into making sure my floats are cocked perfectly so they sit beautiful. I'll have a choice of 9 hooks and I'll debate all night which hook's the best and sharpest and finest for mullet and what leader I should be using. So I'll be that invested that is my favourite thing for the day. So yes, I do love dry fly fishing for trout. It's just one of the most beautiful things ever. I love catching bonefish on fly. It's just one of the most incredible things, just so cool. But I also love jigging for striped trumpeter. I love snapper in the bay because that's what I grew up doing, and I now do it with my boy and my wife. And I love sword fishing off Tassie. I'll be doing that next week, fighting fish to maybe 400 kilos. And I just think that's why fishing is so amazing, because you can fish every day of your life. You're never going to get bored because there are just so many variables, so many different ways of doing it. And then once you've done it yourself, you get to help someone else do it, and that's even cooler. So that's a very long-winded answer to your question. I apologise.
That's all right. We're just sitting here drooling about all the fishing you're doing. We love it, mate. Thank you very much. Now, of recent times, you must have had a funny fishing story, or tell us about one that got away that really, really broke your heart in that moment. Yeah,
so lots of funny fishing stories, but most of them I can't say on this podcast.
That's a common thread to that question too.
Yeah. I'm going to tell. Should I tell this story? Look, I'll tell you a story. So we're in Darwin and we're on a 40-foot boat and we're fishing for sailfish. And we've been fishing for sails and we're filming. And literally my wife's going to kill me. I hope she never hears this. and we're fishing for micro blacks and sails, like little black marlin, 3-4 kilos. So cute. And we fished for a couple of hours and we hadn't had a bite yet. You know how you get there and you're all pumped up and you go and eventually I thought to myself, I really need to go to the loo. Because I've had my third coffee, I've had the bacon eggs, and I'm getting the bit of a calling. So I said to the guys, look, I'm just going to the dunny. So it's hard to go to the toilet. You're wearing a microphone. So you've got to take the microphone, you've got to rest the microphone on something like the pack so it doesn't fall in the toilet. So I literally am just in the throne of elation of going, that was wonderful. And the boys scream out, Marlin. And I'm like, no, they're just teasing me. They want me to bust out my pants down. So I ignore them. And anyway, they start screaming. I went, oh my God, they're serious. So what I had to do, and I apologise, I literally grabbed half a roll of toilet paper, jammed it down my pants, ran out the toilet, stuck the microphone in my pocket, caught this sailfish, with half a roll of dunny paper down my pants. Then did the piece to camera, let the fish go and said, boys, I'll be back in a minute. I had to go finish the job.
Oh, that's gold.
Oh, that's epic.
So that is my wife will kill me. That's the sort of thing you don't see. And one day I'd love to film a behind the scenes, because all the same things that happens to you boys happens to us. We're not special. We're just people going fishing.
We're gonna go back and watch the whole back catalogue and see if we can pick the moment.
Yeah, you'll pick it. There might be a slight little lump in the back of the pants.
All right, now talking about the filming, this is a bit of a two-part question. A, you've got a new series coming up. Tell us all about that. But B, talk about the pressure of filming, and does that turn the fish off?
Yeah, so we're literally in the throes at the moment of our new series, Series 17. IFISH started back in 2005. And I actually met a guy last night, believe it or not, who was a bit of a fan of the show, and I realised he was 24. So I've been on television 23 of his 24 years.
Wow.
Which just blew me away. Just blew me away that he's never known a life without me on TV, which is sad for him. So new series coming out. It's really exciting. We've made a real effort to do things we haven't done before. I want to be excited. I want to be challenged, because I don't want to just do the same stuff. And we've done some amazing stuff, like live scoping Murray cod to 1.22 metre, or active targeting them and all that sort of stuff. And then we've gone and done some cool Samson stuff in South Australia. And I went jigging for bite redfish rather than just bait fishing for them. And we went heli fishing in Darwin. I took a young bloke fishing. He has had a real tough time. The Starlight Foundation put us together, and just doing some really cool stuff like that. So that the series kicks off on the 2nd of July. We're on 5 o'clock on Sunday nights on 10 Bold, and we're on Saturday mornings on Channel 10 at 8 a.m. So that's a huge win, getting back on Channel 10 as well. And the series is going to run through till about late Feb from memory. So everything from that aspect's going well. On the stress thing, OMG, the stress of making fishing television, and it's inversely proportional. So the highs and the lows are so when it's low, it is so low you're dead set want to headbutt a wall. like I reckon I've almost called my wife in tears at some stages. It's so bad because everything just goes wrong. Yeah. And when one thing goes wrong, and then everything's going wrong, you finally hook the monster fish, something out of your control, it falls off, or a bird flies out of the sky and hits your line, and then you start developing bronchitis while you're away. And by the end of this is a trip I did recently. By the end of the 5 days, I couldn't actually speak. Wow. We're still trying to catch this fish, and the harder we tried, the harder it got. And it's just, but you know what? I come home from those trips dejected. I literally feel crushed. I question everything. I question why I do it. I question whether I'm any good at this job, and then I go on the next trip and we just kill the pig. Everything just goes beautifully. We catch 10 fish of a lifetime, a normal person's lifetime, in a day. And you come home and go, that was easy. Now I know why I do this. I love it. I'm good. I'm good at this. So yeah, you just got to remember, don't get too serious. You can't sweat the things you can't change. You've just got to do the best you can, and then let the universe take over from there, and it is what it is. Epic,
mate. We love that. And we should touch on this because you mentioned it earlier about somebody who you met that was 24. So Rhodey and I are about 30-ish years old each, and we've just had 2 young kids around the same age. And for one of our kids, the only thing that will keep them entertained is you on the TV. So you must feel good about that. More than the Wiggles, mate.
That's very, very. And you know what? I've met a lot of people, and they've even said to me, "Look, we don't like fishing as a fan. We don't fish, but we watch your show because my kids love to see all the colours, the pretty fish." A girlfriend I've known for years and years and years, she told me she went to see her mum, who has a bit of dementia, the other day, and she's in her late 80s, and her mum turned around and said to her, I'm loving all the fish Paul's catching at the moment. and all these oldies at the dementia place are watching IFISH because they're just enjoying seeing all these beautiful fish. And then you put them back and it makes them feel happy, and they can't travel and do these things anymore. They've had their time in the sun. So I think it's nice that they get to see that and experience it and still get that pleasure. So, yeah, I never, ever, ever lose sight of the fact that I am extremely privileged to be able to do what I do. And I don't even understand. I actually feel like I'm a fake. I don't even get that I get to do what I get to do. I literally just sometimes wonder if I'm walking around in someone else's house and looking at someone else's boat. It's a really weird feeling. But I think when I finish doing what I'm doing, I look back on it all. I think that's when it'll be real special because I'll actually have time to reflect and time to actually go, wow, that is a really, really cool thing that you did.
Yeah, Paul, it's amazing what you do, and we were very jealous watching you on the Reef Encounters boat down at Marion Bay just recently, and I think you ticked off all the big South Australian species, your big whiting, your Samson fish, your tuna, your nanagai, you did it all. Firstly, tell us about the trip, but out of all those great South Australian species, what's your favourite thing to target over here?
Yeah, that's a tough one because you got some cracking fish. We had a great trip, and it blew. Oh, my God, it blew. I reckon the first day – we were in the middle of nowhere. We were 20 k's south of the middle of nowhere. And it blew. Like, it was 30 knots at least. Like, I broke a rod because I actually got thrown across the boat and grabbed the rod while I was trying for tuna, and I just ripped it in half. $500, just ripped the rod. And then the next day I broke a rod because I got thrown across the back of the boat and I landed on it and smashed it in half. Like, I reckon it blew 40 knots the second day, but we literally caught bite redfish to 63 centimetres, which I think is about as big as they get. Yeah. We got Samson fish we actually weighed them, which is pretty cool, and released them, 21 and 19 kilos, which is solid fish. We caught King George whiting to 50 centimetres, which are real serious King George whiting. We caught big tiger flathead. We caught gummy sharks I estimated the fish at 23 kilos, but it was nearly 6 feet long. We got another one about 15 kilos 10 minutes before that. We caught the biggest blue devils I've ever seen. It wasn't a kilo, but it felt like it was. It was just off its head. And we caught tuna, so many, not big tuna, but so many southern bluefin around that 6 to 8 kilo mark, or maybe 10, but on light gear, like a 5,000 reel on a light spin stick and Rapala stick baits. And literally all that was technically, if you're really counting time properly, done in a day and a half.
Oh, wow.
We never. Ryan is a gun, by the way. If you want to go fishing and catch fish, go with Ryan. He is a gun. And we put the pick down. We never moved for the entire day, not even a move. We just got and snapper as well. Forget the 4 kilo snapper that kept popping up. We had to let go. We just didn't move. Every bait hit the bottom, every jig. I don't think it was ever more than a 10-second wait until you had another big bite redfish, another big sam, another big. It was just stupid. Also, I got crazy big leather jackets, and people don't rate them, but I love them. Leather jackets over a kilo. And the whiting day was like, we'll throw a bait at the back, probably get a big gummy. 2 minutes later, massive gummy. Marion Bay is a very, very, very special place.
Yeah.
And I don't think South Australians understand just how good it is because it's sort of your back doorstep. Yeah. But special place, Reef Encounters, very special people. A man can Ryan Nadine cook some fish. The sashimi I ate that Ryan prepared, I've been to Japan recently. I reckon it was the best sashimi I've ever had anywhere in the world.
Gee whiz. If that isn't a wrap of them, then that's nothing. That's epic.
Mind blowing.
Yeah, we've had Ryan on the show. He's a great operator. Reef Encounters is a serious fishing operation. So, but yeah, we were certainly very jealous. We have been out with him before, but it's one of those things. Every time we see your Facebook pop up, we just hate to see what's going to come next because we know we're missing out.
Well, look, I'm hoping in the next few weeks you might see some pretty cool stuff because I'm heading down to Tassie to spend some time on school holidays with my wife and my boy.
Awesome, mate.
And we're just planning all the wonderful things we hope to catch. And at worst, if we don't get out because it's windy, we'll sit by the fire and have a glass of red and eat some crayfish. So it'll be pretty good.
Epic, mate. Thank you very much for your time. We really appreciate you making us both extremely jealous but giving us some great insights to your life. And you've been a wonderful contributor for, like we've talked about, many, many years, and we can't thank you enough for coming on our show.
Really appreciate you having me, lads, and keep up the good work. You're killing it.
Diz, how good was that?
Oh, mate, epic. Really had me jealous. If you could be jealous of one person's lifestyle, job, whatever, it's going to be Paul, isn't it?
He'd be right up there, I reckon.
And very generous with his time. So we very much appreciate that, Roddy. Let's get into the fishing report.
Rhodey and Diz have been out on the water to bring you the news about where they're biting. Now it's time for the fishing report.
Good stuff, Roddy. So let's kick off the fishing report with Port Hughes, Moonta, Wallaroo area where we were fishing on the June long weekend. It was a great couple of days. We hit the water really early on Saturday, so we were at the ramp at about 6:15. The general store there, fantastic operating hours, 6 a.m. every day of the public holiday. They would have done a bumper trade, so it was great
Fluorio
to
iced coffee and some cockles.
Great to jump in there, get some cockles, get some Fluorio milks. Bill was happy with that, of course. And we were on the water at about, 15:15, beat the traffic, which was great. Second busiest boat ramp, or certainly the busiest boat ramp on the Yorke Peninsula. So we beat the traffic, got out there, fished in the bay for probably about half an hour. Had a few spots in there. Didn't have any joy. Had a listener send us some marks that were a bit wider out past the lighthouse.
Yep.
So we did make the trek out there. We got out past the lighthouse, fished a few of those marks. Again, not much joy. Only got a few.
Nah, we didn't do that well the first day, Diz. We were also out there with our mate Bill, and he was playing an association footy game, and he decided halfway out there that he should actually check what time he had to be at Kadina for the game.
Yeah, I think sort of the night before he might have specifically told us that the game was starting at like 2.
Yeah.
And so we were sort of like, if we get him back to the ramp by midday, that'll give him plenty of time to get down there. Then all of a sudden he springs it on us that he needs to be there at 10:30.
Oh, it was halfway out there, wasn't it?
Like,
It was
what a
ridiculous.
pelican.
Oh, anyway, so that cut our fishing short. We're going to blame that on not getting fish the first day.
Yeah, we were only probably out there for an hour and a half, 2 hours. So anyway, no joy that day. Weather was quite nice. Had a bit of a northerly and a blow throughout the week, so it was a little bit lumpy, but not too bad. Got out there the next day and we talked to some locals. Great local community there. Next door neighbour gave us a few tips, said, don't bother going wide this time of year, boys. You want to stay in nice and close. The fish come in. Of course, we thought that, being winter, of course, we just wanted to test out wide to see whether we couldn't get some thumpers. Came in the next day, fished the Arvo tide, which seemed to be a bit more popular for some of the locals in the know, and cleaned up, Brody.
We did, Diz. I think we came home with a dozen or 12 or 14 whiting in pretty good time.
Yeah, great feed. Look, when you pull over 2 double headers in a row like yourself, you must be pretty happy with that.
Oh,
as a
Diz, I
start.
was pumped early, wasn't I?
Yeah, you were up and about. You wouldn't shut up about it, actually.
Anyway, it was good of the neighbour to tell us about the gentleman's hour.
Yes.
Fish biting in the afternoon tide, which was good.
Yeah, it was. He was very generous with his knowledge, and we reaped the benefits of it.
And we helped him out with a 6-pack of frothies and a podcast beanie as thanks. Oh,
yes,
Cat, wasn't it? Cat.
It was. Yeah, it was. No, it was good fun. All right, Rhodey, that just about wraps up our fishing over there, I think.
Yeah, we didn't, we had the kids over there and all that. There was enough running around after them, so we didn't get heaps of time out there. But good to get some whiting in a new spot, Diz.
It was. Good call. Rhodey, I want to just touch on something that we've seen a lot of footage of over the last fortnight. Did you see that? You would have seen that footage of that enormous school of salmon.
Oh, it was amazing, wasn't it? They said it was the biggest one ever. I don't know how they know that. But
well, I mean, I certainly think that people have said that it's the biggest school of salmon that they've ever caught on film.
Yeah.
Because that was some really good quality footage going through that estuary. So real credit to Adam Doughton. So he was the person who got the footage of that. It was in an inlet, I believe, Bithry Inlet in Tanger, New South Wales. Lots of seals, sharks spotted also, obviously feeding on this enormous school of salmon that was making its way through that estuary. Epic footage, Rhodey. A massive school of salmon.
It went forever, didn't it, Diz? And I'm just having a look on the map now. It's down south of Bermagui.
Yeah.
Between Bermagui and Merimbula.
Yeah.
So real serious fishing location too.
Yeah. Yeah, and just some massive, just the weight of numbers.
It went forever, didn't it?
Yeah, so anyway,
we need that footage in our drone.
We do. We certainly do.
We'll get down to
That was
Southport
epic.
and see if we can't find a bigger one.
It'd be good to get
Bigger school.
Big
What do you reckon?
Boy, I doubt it.
You reckon we get down there with
You
some...
couldn't have fit that school through the inlet in Southport.
you reckon we get down there with some pilchard oil and see if we can't go one better?
Huge call from Rhodey. Okay, Rhodey, we probably don't need to touch on this too much in the report, but IFISH have certainly done a fantastic job catching some fish down in our neck of the woods, South Australia, with Reef Encounters. Some epic catches.
Oh, Diz, they caught everything. Well done to Ryan and the team from Reef Encounters from Marion Bay. They absolutely put IFISH on the fish.
Do you think Ryan can just start a charter that says the IFISH trip replicated?
Yeah.
And he can just charge double the amount he normally does for his charters and people will go and pay?
Oh, mate, you'd pay anything he wanted to charge for. If you caught all those fish, you would pay whatever it cost.
If he's putting us onto some big sambos, trucks of the ocean, I've heard. Epic, Rhodey. We want to get down there, and shout out to them all for having an epic day. Epic. I think it would have been longer than a day, obviously, but epic. Week of fishing.
Yes, Diz, exactly right. Now, we are going to touch on what we talked about before. The Port Mac barrels have gone a little bit quiet. Whether that's down to the weather, the tides, the moons. I think about now was when Tice from Want to Fish Charters thought they were going to come maybe back on the chew again.
Yeah. So
the new moon, I think, was it?
Yeah, around the new moon. And it will be interesting to see what happens because, of course, there's been some, hotly, sometimes they'll be firing out of Portland, other times they're firing out of Port Mac, otherwise it's somewhere in between, and they're both fishing the same schools and areas because, of course, they're so closely located, but it'll be very interesting to see what happens over the next few weeks. We know that they've had a really hot run on them.
And Diz, I saw recently Port Macdonald Fishing Charters shared on their Facebook that they caught their 50th barrel of the year. And I know Want to Fish shared their 40th, and that was a few weeks ago. So they've gone bigger and better since then too.
Yeah, they've done an epic job, and that's some serious fish that have been putting their customers onto. And you're talking about two of the best operators down there, Rhodey.
So if you do want to get down there, they would be where you'd be going.
Absolutely.
If you can't take your own boat, or even if you can, certainly an easy day out going out with someone like that.
Yeah, and certainly a very enjoyable one as well. Rhodey, that's great, mate. Let's tell the listeners a bit about the SA Angler article. Of course, if you haven't had a chance to read it yet, you want to go out and get yourself a copy. You'd be mad not to subscribe, though, wouldn't you?
Yeah, Diz, I got mine delivered in the mail last week. The winter edition, obviously it's gone to quarterly, which has been a big success. They pack more into each edition. And yeah, look, I settled into the couch actually this morning down at McLaren Vale and by the fire and read front to back.
Did you?
Really treated myself.
Love that, mate.
Read all about Want to Fish Charters in there actually too, Diz.
Holiday Rhodey.
It's good. Anyway, we wrote up this time, Diz, about carp fishing in the Torrens.
Yeah, it was a good little article, a bit of a pastime of ours, and lucky enough to get the family down there occasionally to flick a bit of corn into the Torrens and relieve the Torrens of what is definitely a pest, but good fun whilst doing it.
Let's just tell the listeners, Diz, while we're at school, if us and our mates had have committed all that time we spent fishing for carp and goldfish in the Torrens, we would have been rocket scientists.
I tell you
if
what.
we put that time into school, we could have achieved anything.
Yeah, good shout. Good shout. We could have made something of ourselves.
And what about some of those school holidays when you'd go down there, you'd catch those big goldfish, and then you'd ring around the pet shops and try and sell one and say your parents were knocking down their fish pond, can we take one in?
Yeah, do you remember we put them in that fish pond?
Yeah, but remember we used to sell them and go buy beers with the profits?
Yeah, well, that was a manky bloody fish pond by the time some of those goldfish were done in there. Horrible stuff.
Anyway, Diz, it was good to get back to our roots recently and get some more carp and a freshwater catfish we caught that day not that long ago.
Yeah.
Good to see.
Yeah, no, it was. That was good. So anyway, have a read. We don't want to give too much away, Rhodey. Have a read. Rhodey, where can the listeners find us?
Diz, we're all over your Facebook and your Instagram, so jump on there, share your winter whiting photos to win our great prize pack from Shimano.
Yes, get around that. That's still running and you've got a little while left, but time is ticking. We hope you've had some great opportunities to get out and get around the winter whiting. If you haven't, then get amongst it. You've still got a couple of weeks. So get onto that. Send in your photos. Have a listen to the episode. Tell us what you reckon. And we love you guys keeping up with us.
All right, Diz, that's all we've got time for. Big thanks to Paul from IFISH for coming on. That was a great chat, and we look forward to hearing from you next time, guys.
Love it. See you guys.
Rhodey and Diz hope you enjoyed today's episode of All the Gear But No Idea. Keep up to date by liking and sharing us on Facebook and Instagram, and you can subscribe on all the major podcast platforms. Until next time, good luck fishing.